My name is Sylvie Tetrault and this is Chef Tommy, and today we are here on behalf of the Canadian Bison Association and we are making...
Bison broth.
Okay, Tommy, what are we doing for the broth?
All right, so the first step with a broth is having bones. So starting off with our bison bones, roasted. By roasting it, it'll give you that nice caramel brownish color at your end product for sure. And then we have something that's called a mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery. And we use that to flavor the bones. We also roast that as well, again, to enhance the flavor by releasing all of its natural sugars and by giving it that color to, again, help the final product with that kind of that brown broth that we're so familiar with. Also, we add some tomato paste to it. And then here I have some fresh aromatics. So we have our rosemary, we have thyme, we have some fresh bay leaf, and we have some whole garlic cloves as well. So basically, one of the easiest things to do in the kitchen is making a broth, because literally you just dump it all into a pot, add your aromatics to it, add cold water, bring it up to a boil, then to a simmer, and basically the oven does all the work after that. Yeah.
So yeah, some of the benefits of bone broth, it's probably one of my favorite things from a nutrition profile, because as Tommy mentioned with the bones, you're getting the cartilage, you're getting the marrow. So what happens when you simmer it and boil it over a long period of time is you're releasing all those minerals. So especially for people like athletes who sweat a lot, they're getting minerals which will help them replace what they might be sweating and also make up for their rebuilding of tissue in the cartilage. So there's something called collagen, which makes up for the ligaments, bones, and the tendons. So everything that we're seeing here, when you release that in a broth, you're actually helping to rebuild tissue. So when we talk about, injuries or even just regular tissue building in general, bone broth is one of the best things that you can do. These bones are so rich, the bison bones, because as you can see, they're very large. They contain a lot of marrow. There's a ton of cartilage in here. So you're getting the benefits of all those minerals, all those nutrients. I also really recommend it for people with gut health issues or even just boosting your gut health in general because of that collagen and cartilage in the bones. It actually helps with your gut lining to absorb and assimilate and use the nutrients that you're taking in from your food. For example, with the veggies, you're also doing the same thing with releasing the nutrients from the veggies when you're simmering it over a long period of time. So it's the, oldest way that we can think of in terms of preparing a nutrient-rich food, and it's become very popular for good reason. It gives us so many benefits in terms of health and performance. So yeah, I love it. I could talk about broth all day, clearly.
It's fantastic, yeah. And again, from a chef's perspective, it is one of the easiest things we make, but it's also one of the most important things that we make because, again, it can go into soups, sauces. For example, when we made our shepherd's pie, we used that for the meat filling. So even me personally, when I start feeling a little bit of a cold or a flu coming on, I take a cup of that broth and I drink it as if it was coffee, and I really feel the benefits of it. I really do. It helps me get over it.
Yeah, absolutely. Immunity. This is the number one thing you can do for immunity, which we are all trying to boost right now, and always. But absolutely, as you mentioned, it's just liquid gold in a cup.
Absolutely. So now we're just gonna put this all into the pot. There's nothing to it, guys. So it comes out of the oven hot. So you just want to be careful. Especially what will happen is with dealing with bones is you'll have a lot of the fat dripping up off of it. So just be careful when removing it from the pan so that it doesn't splash on you because it will burn. Now we'll just add our vegetables. And from a cook's perspective, if you're cooking broth constantly, like we do in restaurants and any kind of food production, we save all of our scraps when it comes to onions, when it comes to celery, carrots, even parsley, like herb stems and stuff like that. We set those aside during the week as we produce food. and it's just a really good way of reducing our waste. And there's nothing wrong with using the ends of the carrots and those ends of the celery that normally you would toss. It's perfect for something like this.
And you mentioned the scraps. So when we think about bones, we often think that they're a throwaway thing. But as I mentioned, there's so many nutrients, and something like a bison bone is going to provide so many more of those nutrients because of the size of the animal. So that's why we love to use bison bones, because you're just going to get so much more out of those bones that a lot of people will just toss away or don't think to ask at the butcher. These are so versatile, and you should always keep them because you can get so much out of it.
Okay, so just finishing this off right now. So we'll just tuck in our fresh herbs. And again, if like from a cook's perspective, during the week as we use thyme, we normally pick the thyme and toss the stems. Well, if you keep those stems to the side, at the end of the week when we make our broths, we just put that in there, and it'll also give you that same flavor profile we're looking for. So broth is a fantastic way of reducing food waste, and it also gives back as far as the health benefits of it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here we have our finished bone broth. Just, it smells unreal, guys. I wish you guys can smell this. We have the desired color, and that was done by roasting off the bones and the vegetables. There should be a balanced flavor of first the bison, followed by a sort of sweetness from the vegetables, and just backed up by the bay leaf and the herbs. Really, honestly, like, the bang for your buck is just drink it warm out of a mug, or again, you're making soup for the family that night, a bison barley soup, and any sauces if you're making a nice bison steak that night and you want to reduce this further down, then you'll get a beautiful sauce, or what like we like to call it, a jus. That could also be applied to a good steak like that as well.
Thank you so much for following along with us while we made these recipes. Follow us along with Canadian Bison Association in order to get more information and more delicious recipes.